If you're 65 and have $1.2 million saved up for retirement, are you going to have enough to retire comfortably? And what would that look like? How much income would you be able to expect to receive? That's what we're going to walk through in this video. It's going to be a hypothetical situation of what that would look like at Peterson Wealth using our Perennial Income Model. And we're going to solve really the three largest challenges that retirees face today. The first is longevity, just people are living longer than they used to. The second is inflation. This happens, it's not something that you see year to year, but over a 20 to 30 year retirement, it makes a big impact. And also volatility, just the ups and downs in the stock market. And so there's a lot going on this page right here. And so what I want to show you first is here on the left-hand side, the total monthly income that this couple would be able to receive. And so this is what we are solving for. And you can see here that in this situation, it's about just under $9,000 a month. And now, how do we get that number? How does that happen? Well, first, we look at what we call the other income. And if we scroll down to this next page, for this couple, Rob and Laura, their other income is going to come from their Social Security. This is assuming they take their Social Security at their full retirement age of age 67. Rob would get his at age 67. Laura is a year younger, and she would be taking the spousal benefit from Social Security, or half of Rob's, when she turns 67. And so we just take these two columns here, and we go ahead and copy and paste that over here to this, or we add these together to this total column, and then we copy and paste this total column up here to the other income. So you can think of this as Social Security income. And then we have the investment income. And now, how do we get these numbers for the investment income? Well, what we do, we take this 1.2 million and we spread it out over 7 different segments. The first 6, each representing 5 years of income during retirement, and the last one being a legacy, or think of it as an insurance policy, which I'll explain in just a moment. And so we first put in segment 1, we put about 367,000 in here, and this is what they are living off of for the first 5 years of retirement. So this is being spent down to 0 while these other segments continue to grow. And so we're sending out for the first 2 years, you can see we're sending about that 9,000, and then we start sending out a little bit less the third year, and that's because that's when Social Security kicks in. And the goal is to keep this total income column consistent and inflation adjusted throughout retirement. And then you can see in year 4, it drops again, and that's because now Laura has taken Social Security. And so that's what happens in this first segment. It's invested very conservatively. We're showing we are very conservative in our assumed growth rates here. And so that's what we have in segment 1. And then segment 2 will grow. We invest it slightly more conservative, so we assume a little higher rate of return because we don't need this money for 5 years. So we take that, we grow it to 273, and now this is the income needed for years 6 through 10 of retirement. And you can see that we start sending out a little bit more because the total income goes up at that point, because we want to make sure that we're keeping pace with inflation throughout the duration of retirement, which is why down here in year 30, it's closer to 16,000 a month in income. And we continue that same process throughout. So segment 3, we're invested a little bit more aggressively because we now don't need this money for 10 years. And then we get there and we start sending out 5,200 a month, and so on and so forth. And now the legacy, what this is showing us is this is us saying that we want to end with the same amount that we started with. So we put the legacy, we put in 109,000 here. That grows to 1.2 million at the end of a 30-year retirement, or the same amount that we started with. And so where you can see the magic here is that we end with the amount that we started with, while also sending out over $2 million of income during retirement. This is a very brief overview of what this would look like. So please let me know if you have any other questions.